with Potpourri of Life. I hope you're having a great day. Today I am sharing a little bit of my sewing area. I call my sewing studio, my creative loft, whatever you want. It's not a loft, it's down in the cellar. What I've been doing we have been decluttering and downsizing our home. We've gotten rid of, I can't tell you how much I have gotten rid of, including fabric. I've donated so much. And now I'm at the point where I have the fabrics that I want to work with. My cottons, my linens, my wools and flannels and denims and stuff like that. So I still have a variety of fabrics that I want to work with. But now I can work on the things that I enjoy. And I did shut down my sewing business. I do a little bit for bartering. I do a little bit for selling as I'm asked, but it's not full-time like it was before. So what I did was, after I did all the donations, after I did a bunch of all of that work, I came down here and I've spent off and on over the last couple of weeks going through, putting some things in the bags to trash, and then now I'm at the point where it's like, okay, what do I have here? And so I did some rearranging, and that's what I'm going to show you is what I did. It still looks busy. And I was telling my husband, I said, you know, it's kind of embarrassing, but it's not, because if you really think about somebody who has a craft, my husband's shop is packed with, you know, the things that he uses plus the wood. And then I started thinking, you know, that's typical of anybody who does creating. So I had to get over that. So the average person who only goes to the store and buys fabric for an outfit they're making, a lot of people tend to get rid of the fabric and throw away what they're not going to use. When you're a seamstress, when you are someone who likes to craft, you tend to keep the scraps as much as you can, and sometimes that's not a good thing. And that was something that I got rid of. I got rid of like a big black trash bag of scraps, and I just took the containers and I dumped them. I did not look, I just dumped them, because it was holding me back from my creative ability. And so now that I've rearranged this, I know where everything is. It's still a little bit more full than I want it to be, but it's functional and I can do some work. So I'm going to show you a little bit of my space. So as I come into the sewing area, I'm coming down the cellar stairs, and this is where I'm coming to. This is just, I put one of those shelf units up there to put some items, little jars I had, and I just, because I save jars because that's what I do, and it helps me organize. And then my daughter made me that. So much fabric, so little time. Yeah, as I get older, I'm starting to see that. And then over here, a bunch of my books, not all my sewing books, but a lot of them, and I've kept them. So this is what I come down to when I come to the cellar. And then I come around this corner, and this is what I see. I know it's busy, but isn't it fun? Okay, for me it is. So I've come down here and I'm really excited because it's organized now where I know where everything is. One of the things that I had done was we had some plastic shelving over here. Don't you love that green wall paint? Oh my gosh, I have to change that. So I took this unit here, I took it out of one of the closets we had, because what we had here was plastic shelves and I had totes in it. It was awful and it wasn't the greatest aesthetically, but this makes it easier for me. All these containers are sorted by types of fabric, types of quilts that I'm making, and I had to stop due to some family stuff as well as some illness. This unit here is so cool. My husband made this for me. It fits. Let me pull one out. Men will know. Let me pull this one out. These are fishing. You can get these in the fishing area, the sports area of Walmart or other places. And I sort, those are my quilting threads. But these other items are plastic snaps for when I make bibs and some female things that I make, some other things like that. So that stays there and I love it because it fits it perfect. And on top, this unit here is so that I can put the snaps in on my garments. I press down and the unit goes in. It's perfect. And back here this is a clutter area that I still have to go through, but I know what's in there. It's it's my pile. But it's stuff that I'm not going to use right now, so I just got to put it out of the way. This big board is a quilt board that a friend had given me, and I use that and I put it on, I'm going to show you in a minute, I put it on a tabletop that I can use for the quilting. Up here, this is a CD holder. I know it's wonky, but guess what? I can put some of my fat quarters up there. And that's what I do. So when I come over here, I have this antique dresser I found. It's not in excellent, perfect condition, but it works for me because I get to store items in here. These drawers came from a sewing table that was really not in great condition, but the drawers were fine. So I took them and David put a top on top of it so that I could sew. This particular machine is for heavy duty, for jeans, tents, anything that requires heavy duty sewing that I don't want to use on my regular everyday machine. So that's what that machine is for, and it is perfect. It is a long unit that has great space to work, and in behind it I have a tabletop that I'll show you in a second. So what I did with that is in between I just used the extra space because that's what creative people do. Over here, this shelf here was put up when our girls were young, when they were toddlers, because we had this unit on this side of that thick green wall there. This was a playroom for them. So we put that shelf up, and they've used it for different things. My youngest painted it purple because she liked purple and green. So we got purple shelves. I just haven't had a chance to change that color. And then these plastic drawers are perfect because I can sort out items. And each one is, these things here are just sorted by projects that I have in mind to make, and I just haven't had a chance to do it. So when I come around here, this area here, there is a door over there, but we don't use the other side for this kind of stuff, and we don't need to go through it. But this area is some extra things that I have going on, and over there I had David make me some shelves so that I could store the little bitty things and stuff, which has been very helpful. He put a shelf up here for me because I need shelves. This particular shelf here, and that shelf, and this desk. This desk is my father-in-law's, or my mother-in-law's. They had it at their house. We believe my father-in-law got it when he was an engineer and he worked at a place and they upgraded their office. So we love it, and it looks like it was designed specifically for the old computers because of that open space. So what I'm using that space for is that black toolbox that has all my zipper replacements, all my zippers, all my tools, so that I can replace jacket zippers, pant zippers, all of that stuff that I frequently used to get called for. On the shelves here though, I still have some sewing things like organized my threads, pins and needles and stuff. I'm sorry, the lighting is my shadow. But I brought down, because I'm using our spare room for my apothecary room, I wanted to bring down the different card making and scrapbooking and all that kind of stuff downstairs because I wasn't working upstairs, and this surface here is perfect for that. In here is my Cricut, and it's a different, I haven't used it yet because of life, but this is used for, the reason I got it was I was trying to find something that could cut out appliques, and this particular Cricut does cut out appliques of fabric so that I can use them and apply them to, you know, like aprons or outfits or quilts. And so that was the reason I got that. Over in the corner was a shelf unit that we designed for our oldest daughter when she was down here. It's kind of out of the way, and then you have a dresser and stuff, but she could throw in her games, her projects and stuff like that. So that's what that was for. And this is just a tube, has no purpose but for conversation piece. That's right, we're talking about it now. Over here, this is an old dresser that we have, and there is a matching dresser over there. What I did was, oops, it's blurring out. It's blurring out, I don't even think that's a word. I took a bookcase that we had from what Dad had made David when he was in high school, I believe. This was part of his, I don't know, his room furniture and stuff. So we've had it with us. We've had all of the pieces with us for a long time. But this one I took and I put more of my sewing books in back, and then some of the other things that I have used. And of course, I use every ounce of space I can. So these have fabric in it, organized. Some of them have quilt parts and stuff like that. And some of my mother-in-law's quilt stuff is in here that I want to finish up. And then over here, I shared with some friends. This unit here is a unit, another unit that I inherited from my father-in-law. Actually, David did, or we did. So we took this and we cleaned it out, and David didn't want to use it anymore. So I'm using it for unique pieces and quilt squares. That's what I'm using this for, and it is wonderful. Again, I had some more sewing machine drawer pieces. I would love to eventually get a bunch of these to make a cabinet, like an apothecary cabinet, using these, but this is what I have and this is what I'm using. So what I did to organize this is I put these up here, and then I put a basket that stores various things that I'm using. I tend to use a lot of black. Some of this is wool and some of it's cotton, and some other things that I have, like felt and stuff that I use in different projects. A really, really cool thing that David made for me was this cabinet here. It is about, it goes to my hip, so it's about 3 feet tall, maybe 3.5 feet wide. He made this because I specifically asked him, I said, Dave, I need something so I can put all the buttons I sort in here. And it took me months, maybe over a year, to slowly save up to have these units. Why do I have tons of buttons, and why the various sizes? That is partly because I made a lot of dog clothing, and it was fun, but I used real buttons. I didn't like using snaps, although I did at times. Before I go into that next here, this here is, you see this dresser? This is an oak one, and on the other side is a maple one. I can't move that box. And they're the same dresser, just different wood. And the reason I got them, and we have them up on 2 bricks, to make it a height that I can use that doesn't hurt my back. And I put this on it with some shelf liner that allows these things to not slip. So I can cut and I can sew and make patterns and stuff. Right now I have stuff on here, so I just move them off out of the way and that'll be fine. So that's how I made my workspace. And that big top that's for quilting, I can take that and put it right across here, and I can do some quilting. So we're trying to make the best of our space because that's what we have to do. So over here is another cabinet. This is where I typically have all my baby, infant, toddler type fabrics, flannels, and so forth. And I use some of these flannels for some things that I make, various like bowl cozies or placemats, linens, and a variety of other things. Behind this door is the utility box. I can't think of what it's called. So in these closets, each girl had their own closet when they were down here. And so this one here, and we got what we could for doors, and this is the one that we had for this one. This was a closet for clothing. We transformed it this last weekend by adding in some shelves, giving me more space, more organized space, a place for my extra machines, and a place for some more drawer units that are sorted by color. And when you're crafting, or at least for me, I prefer to have things organized. So this has helped, and I kind of like it. And then the other one, I have to open this one very, very carefully, and I'll explain in just a second. So this here was on the wall where those units are, those units with the baskets. That was over there, so I never had to worry about ribbon falling off. And I used ribbon when I was doing bridal alterations, and I was doing the bustles for the brides. I would use various colors of ribbon to do the bustle, because some of them had 18 points and so forth. And it was fun. They would get a map of how to put their bustle up and stuff, which was given to the maid of honor. But I also used ribbon for the doll clothing or other crafts that I do and braiding them and so forth. I have patterns over here, down there, and I still have other patterns. And then these are the other snaps for the crafts that I make. And then of course, I sometimes hang on to certain belts. I use hankies in some crafts. I collect them as I can, and sometimes I use them. And so this closet has transformed into a wonderful organized unit for me. So this is the thing that David and I are going to, I think I figured out how I'm going to do it, but it's going to take some time, and right now this is going to work for me. And then on the back of this, I have this hanger, the over door hanger, so I can work on some of these items that I have. Somebody gave me these infant dresses years ago, and I haven't really done anything with it, so I haven't decided what I'm going to do. But this is where I am at. This is my sewing craft room where I can run away and hide. Hey friends, this is Laura. I'm back. My battery died, so I have no idea where I left off, because while it was charging, I went off and I did some other chores that need to be done. So I just wanted to come back and say thank you for watching, and I hope it was inspiring to you to consider your own space in terms of what can you do to make it you. It doesn't have to cost a lot if you're frugal, and if you watch your sales on it, like these dressers, they were having sales on them. Now I love these dressers, and I intentionally, the first one I bought because it was, my sewing room was actually upstairs in our spare bedroom at the time when our youngest came down to have this space for her bedroom. So I put it up against the wall and it fit my sewing machines beautifully. But after she moved out, I wanted to take this space because it's a lot larger. And so I'm able to spread out, and that's why I went and got the other one, and I bought both of them on sale. They're kind of the expensive pieces in my sewing room, and I'm looking around. The unit that has the baskets in it, those I paid for, and those were on sale too years ago. They go for a lot more than they do now, so I would not even invest in those today. But if you get a great sale on it, or you're at a yard sale or whatever, those get dirty, so you may want to know that you're going to have to wash them up if that's what you get. But you can find all kinds of things and mix match and stuff, sort of like this unit here that we got from David's dad, taking parts of something else and just making it work. Sometimes you can find these drawers, and that's my goal, because people are taking just the framework and creating things with those frameworks and getting rid of the drawers. So that's why I want to collect the drawers to make like an apothecary cabinet, and they don't have to be the same because I like weird, or it's just part of me, I like things to be a little bit different. And generally they're all the same size, so it would work out really nice. So that's where I'm at. I hope that this was encouraging to you. It did take me a good couple of weeks working on other things to actually have the time to work down here. I actually needed some help from my husband because some of my totes were much bigger, and I've downsized them as I was reducing. But I did need his help in lifting the heavy things for me, because I am not ashamed to say I can't do something, especially with a bad back. So it is very helpful. He's able to make little things for me, and not everybody can, but you can barter your time to maybe get somebody else who can do that for you. So I hope it was helpful, and more importantly, I hope it was inspiring to those of you who are creative. And you don't have to be a seamstress. You can be anything, whatever it is that you like to create. Make in your space, and it can be a small area similar to the card making, paper making area that I have. It doesn't have to be big. Whatever your craft is, create a space for you to enjoy, because I find that my sewing is my getaway. Between my herbs, my sewing is my other place where I can actually let go and have a little bit of me time. And that's what brings me joy. It's a gift that God has given me, and I like to use it the best that I can. Friends, I hope that you're having a great day, and God bless you.